Throughout history, millions of people have lost or won at casinos. The name of an ordinary retired Gonzello from Spain has gone down in casino history forever. After all, he is considered to be the menace of all casinos, and many even call him a legend. So what did he do? That's what this story is about. Gonzello was born on May 25, 1947, and as a young boy he loved mathematics. A genius he certainly wasn't growing up as an ordinary boy, but he always had an aptitude for the exact sciences. The Spaniard spent the first part of his life quite modestly. He received a mathematical education, although he didn't use his skills until a certain age. Gonzello worked as a sound engineer and producer, and in general, he led an ordinary life, had a beloved wife and 5 sons. Everything suited the man in this life, but when he was in his 5th decade, everything changed. It is not known what happened. They say that his eldest son lost a lot, owed a large sum, and his father decided to restore justice. At first glance, it seems that the roulette game is a set of coincidences. A ball thrown into a spinning drum takes one of 37 possible positions. However, the Spaniard has a mathematical mind. He saw the world around him differently. At first glance, to us, these things are trivial, but Gonzello had always projected formulas and calculations, and he was certain that coincidences were not random. He set out to find the key to winning. His story goes back to the Madrid casino establishment. Gonzello became its regular customer, but no one saw the man in the game. He simply took his favorite drink and watched the roulette wheel for a long time, wondering why some numbers fell more often and others very rarely. He wrote down, made calculations, thought, and watched. But still, this information, which he already had by his calculations, did not give him the opportunity to win. But the Spaniard did not stop. Using his education, he set a goal to create an ideal system, to find this key to win at any cost. Initially, he worked on his own, visiting the casino, taking notes and making calculations in the evenings, but he was unsuccessful. Each subsequent calculation was doomed to failure. The man decided that he didn't have enough of the original data for a detailed analysis, so he brought in all of his resources. In addition, the casino security service began to watch him closely. By this time, his 5 adult sons were his eyes and were helping their father. They amicably wrote down the sectors on which the roulette ball stopped. One son was writing down the results of the first table, the other the results of another, so the amount of information received increased 5-fold exactly. My father's idea was very simple, but he couldn't get to the bottom of it yet. The Spaniard was firmly convinced that there was a pattern to everything. The main thing was to understand it. But Gonzello was not only a mathematician, he was able to develop a mind-boggling observation. When he realized that the calculations and the real results did not agree, he began to look closely at the roulette wheel. Eventually, the mathematician found the answer. He noticed that the shiny surface of the roulette wheel reflected the light irregularly. He calculated an approximate slope to detect an unstable spin. He had to count the revolutions if the tape measure was making a different number of revolutions left and right. The reel was not without flaws. He also understood that any tape measure is first of all a man-made device, which means that, like any other mechanism, it has some physical defects that were already created during its manufacture. With this knowledge, Gonzello was able to predict with great accuracy where the ball would land on the roulette wheel. He was able to take advantage of the imperfections in the wheel and the tendency of certain numbers to come up more frequently. He developed a system for betting that was based on these observations and calculations. He would start by betting small amounts on the numbers that he had identified as most likely to come up, and as he won, he would increase his bets until he was betting large sums of money on a single spot. With his system in place, Gonzello set out to put it to the test. He traveled to casinos all over Europe, including those in Monte Carlo, London, and Paris. The results were astounding. Gonzello won millions of dollars and soon became known as the greatest roulette player in the world. But his success was not without controversy. Casino owners accused him of cheating, and some even banned him from their establishments. But Gonzello was undeterred. He continued to play and win, and even took his system to the United States, where he won even more money. In the end, Gonzello's story is one of determination, perseverance, and sheer brilliance. He proved that it is possible to beat the casinos at their own game, and he did it in style. He managed to win all casinos he played by using his mathematical mind and understanding of physics of roulette wheel. Today, Gonzello is retired and living in Madrid, but his legacy lives on. His story continues to inspire players around the world, and his method is still studied and admired by experts in the field. He will forever be known as the bane of the roulettes, and his name will always be associated with the art of winning at the game of roulette. Write in the comments what you think about his strategy and this wonderful story